All right, today's lesson is page 188, lesson 42, using I and me, we and us. Let's first look at, it says the pronoun I is a subject pronoun. I use I as the subject of the sentence. So last month, I started to collect stamps. As you look at the sentence, I is the actual subject, so I is the subject pronoun. The pronoun me is an object pronoun. Obviously, the past couple nights we have looked at subjects and objects, so this is just a continuation of that understanding. So me is an object pronoun. Use me as a direct object or as the object of a preposition. So it says, Rita took me to a stamp show. Rita is the subject of the sentence. So me is the pronoun. Next, it says the object of preposition. She gave some stamps to me. Me is that object of the preposition, and that's when you're using me. Once again, when you're using I, it is the subject of the sentence. When you're using me, it's going to be the direct object or an object of the preposition. All right? It's going to be an alternative. You're already going to have a subject of the sentence. So when you already have a subject, you're going to say me. All right, it says, when you speak or write about yourself and another person, always name the other person first. I'm going to say that one more time because that's really important. When you speak or write about yourself and another person, always name the other person first. Always, always, always. Use the rules above to help you decide which pronoun to use. So in this example, last week, my brother and I traded stamps for the first time. The subject is, it's pretty much our pronoun we, it's both of us, but you always put the first person first before you, my brother and I. Since it is the subject, you as a group that's the subject of the sentence, you use I. Now in the second sentence, yesterday Richard traded stamps with my brother and me. Richard is the subject. My brother and me are that direct object and object of the preposition. All right? So, my brother and me is the appropriate use in this context. Next, Richard and I. Once again, this is the subject, so you're using I. Joined a stamp club earlier today. Then it says, Mr. Block, our subject. Mr. Block showed his collection to Richard and me, object. All right, so Richard and me is the appropriate term, not I. I has to be in the subject. Me is the object. Sometimes a noun is used with we or us to make it clear whom you are talking about. Use we with noun subjects. We newcomers to the club were amazed at all the different kinds of stamps. And then use us with a direct object or the object of preposition. These stamps belong to us club members. So when you're talking about Richard and I, you're going to be looking at we. When you're looking at Richard and me, that is going to be us. All right, so after that, let's go ahead and do a little practice. For number 1, we are looking at, it says blank like American Stamps Best. I have to decide if I'm going to use I or me. So if I'm looking at this sentence, it looks like it is going to be the subject of the sentence. So because we are looking at a subject, we must use the word I. So, I is the answer to the first one. I. All right, next. It says, the colors and designs of the stamp fascinate. Now we're looking at an object. Because we're looking at the object, we are looking at me. This is a little bit darker. All right, and then a stamp catalog tells blank collectors about the value of each stamp. The stamp collection, that's what your subject is. So you're looking at an object. So a stamp catalog tells us. And then number 4, it says blank Americans issued our first stamps in 1847. We are looking at a subject. So when we're, once again, making sure that you're referring back to our lesson, when we're looking at subjects, we must use the word we. All right, if you would tonight, I would like for you to continue that section A. Move this to the side. I would like for you to do section A is your homework, 5 through 10. You're still going to decide if it is a subject or if it's going to be subject or if it's going to be an object for each one and picking the correct word within the parentheses. Next is section B. It says, write the word or words in parentheses not correctly that correctly complete each sentence. So, once again, we're going to continue the exact same strategy that we used for section A. My sister Anna and blank collect coins. So the sentence is about my sister and I is going to be the correct usage of I and me. I, because you and Anna, remember Anna is coming first and I is the subject. 2 years ago, my grandfather gave, and that's going to be me. Because it's going to be my grandfather is the subject, this is your object. Now, if it said my grandfather and, that's when you would use I. But because this is not included with my grandfather is the only subject. Continue the rest tonight. It's going to be once again on page 189 is going to be your homework. So I would like for you to do the 5 through 10, and then you're going to finish up by the 3 through 10. All right, good luck.